And we're live. What's up, guys? Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you all for joining me today, Thursday, March 20th, 2025. Got a huge show today. The JFK files have been released. We're going to talk about some of the fallout from that. Tesla and Elon are under fire. We're going to show some of that material as well. And we have a closing segment on the lie that there's nothing Jews hate that more than Jesus, and how that is the controlled opposition talking point and not the reality of the whole situation. Thank you all for being here. Wouldn't be possible without you guys. Yeah, that's right, Jack Stone. Rumble rants, super chats over on Odysee. We're also streaming on BitChute and X as well. And if you want to support, there's still about like 10 of each shirt left. High quality premium Bella Canvas, Trump, They Live, No More News shirts, as well as the Red Runes, Volknut, No More News shirts. I shipped out a bunch this morning, and we're down to the last few, so don't miss out and be upset that you didn't get one. Starting today, where did we leave off? Oh, so much other stuff going on too. Let's start with this, the before and after of Tulsi Gabbard. What was it? 6 years ago, Gabbard was slamming Trump for helping the Saudis to bomb Yemen, in which she called genocide, and said, we need a new president. Today she works for Trump and is defending Trump's attacks on Yemen and his killing of innocent people. Trump attacking the Houthi Yemen, he claims is sponsored by Iran. He's warning them any attack by the Houthis is an attack on Iran. He's also forcing them, he's giving them a timeline that if they don't agree to some, if Iran doesn't agree to some denuclearization or something like that, that there's going to be big problems. Yeah, a few moments later. So the back and forth, and we're attacking Houthis in Yemen because they're targeting ships, and they're targeting ships because of Israel and Gaza.
Position, he's doing so because... Do you think when someone like Trump radically shifts his position, he's doing so because he's been influenced to change his position, because he's been given more information, or do you think they become compromised when they're in office and I scratch your back, you scratch mine?
If you don't have the strength of your convictions...
Funny how Rogan starts this clip describing exactly what she ended up doing.
Understanding about what kinds of policies actually best serve the American people, then you can see how easily you'd be swayed and influenced by others. You saw Trump's rhetoric on the campaign trail about Saudi Arabia, against Saudi Arabia, against United States support for Saudi Arabia, calling them out for what they are, and now refusing to end U.S. military support for this genocidal war in Yemen that Saudi Arabia is waging, that's created the worst humanitarian crisis of our generation, because he says, well, he doesn't want to risk a multi-billion-dollar arms deal with Saudi Arabia. So, you know, you can see, at least in that respect, what he's really motivated by. He would rather...
The ceasefire with Israel, with Gaza and Israel, is also over now too, and they're bombing Gaza again.
Continue to support the senseless and devastating deaths of innocent people in Yemen and using our U.S. military, my brothers and sisters in the military, to do that because he doesn't want to risk an arms deal with Saudi Arabia, a theocratic dictatorship that actually directly supports terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda.
It's hard for people to imagine that that's the case, that it's an arms deal and they want to make sure that this deal goes through and that it continues to be financially productive for both nations.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's, and this was Trump's argument. He's like, well, that's American jobs, building those weapons that we're selling to Saudi Arabia. That's what's at risk. My challenge to him and to the American people is, if the best our president can do to help support the creation of jobs in this country is to build weapons that are being dropped on innocent people in countries like Yemen, then we need a new president. We need a new commander in chief that will actually help serve the best interests of our people and work towards the interests of peace here at home and peace abroad.
Okay, we got it. And of course, there Chabad happened. There she is with Shmuley and Adelson. Okay, so there's that. We got another. Trump got a golden pager, right? So Fetterman just gets the silver pager. I got to go look it up. Did Netanyahu gifts Senator Fetterman, ultra-Zionist Democrat. 6 months ago, Israel detonated pagers to kill 4,000 people, rigged with explosives. 42 were killed. Among them, victims were children.
Everything. How about giving him a beeper?
It's like
now this is a silver-plated beeper. The real beeper is like 1/10 the weight. It's nothing.
Really?
Yeah, but
So could you imagine if it was like Hamas did some Zohar war by deception? What was that theater? Like the guy in 60 Minutes said, the Mossad agent on the theater of life. If it was Hamas that did the pagers and targeted all of the high-level brass in Israel, and then Hamas was giving pagers to Ilhan Omar, you think that would be allowed? But it just, nobody blinks an eye when Netanyahu does it. It'd be terrorism if it happened to them. It's genius war strategy and 007 Bond shit when they do it.
it changes history.
When that story that story broke,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I love it. And now it's like, thank you for this. Yeah, no, all right. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Is Fetterman a Christian? Now we know how this retard won, right? Now it explains it. Stands tall as ironclads, village affiliation. His father was a Baptist. Unknown, refused to specify if he was raised as Christian. Is that what he said? Not sure. Trump got the pager, though. So Trump got the golden pager. This is so weird. This is like a movie, like where the villain is handing out awards to all of his agents for his bombing psyop. And these are the people that they're America, our so-called greatest ally, because they don't watch Edom rabbi videos. These are the people they call our greatest ally, with pagers everywhere, with blown up pagers handed out as souvenirs. It's just weird. Really weird. Unga Bunga, he is a big retard. Remember, the only time he ever put on a suit was when Netanyahu came and addressed Congress? Crazy. They could get literal oaf retards into Congress as long as they grovel to Bibi. Who gets the platinum pager? That's a good question, Optics Prime. Ben Shapiro? Maybe? Zionist Cuck says, choo-choo in... No, don't say that, Zionist. I condemn and disavow. Don't do that. Don't say that. Alchematron says, Adam Green is the voice of reason in a world gone mad. Thank you so much.
They're nice.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you for the big dono, man. You're incredible. I agree. It is the best show in the world. But I'm biased. the best show because I cover all the things that I want to talk about. Who could compete? So didn't I tell you about how all the time it's both sides calling each other Nazis, both sides calling each other Satanists, both sides calling each other anti-Semitic? If that's the discourse, if those are the terms and that's what the discourse is, that's all in the Jewish paradigm. When Satan is the boogeyman and Jesus and the Messiah and the God of Israel is the good guy. Or you're fighting over who the real anti-Semite is, the real Satanist is, or who the real Nazi is. And we got Trump over and over again calling Congress anti-Semitic because of the squad, and then calling Schumer a Palestinian. Would Trump call anybody in Congress a Jew? Would he be like, yeah, screw that Jew. Hey, he won't even call him a Jew. He calls him a Palestinian. Drum and Bass World for 5 says, good afternoon. What's up, Drum and Bass World? Chuck Schumer now is counterpunching with, you guessed it, calling Trump an anti-Semite.
Look, Trump has far too often tolerated all kinds of anti-Semitic things.
I just saw another clip of Weinstein saying the same thing. There's too much tolerance of all these Christian anti-Semites. Like, you having dinner with Nick Fuentes. So Trump is the total Shabbos Goy, grovels to Israel so much, but then they still benefit from smearing him as the next Hitler and Christian nationalist and the leader of Edom.
He regards the Jews sort of as transactional. So,
fuck off, Odin 42, fake supporter. Again, lies too. You guys are such scumbag fucking liars, dude. Fuck you. Fuck you, pieces of shit. Blocked forever for being a fucking scumbag liar.
money, the Jews. Votes, the Jews. But no real understanding of who we are. And look at the things he's done. In Charlottesville, both sides are to blame. He sits down with a known bigoted anti-Semite, Fuentes.
There it is.
He has a lot of people in his administration who believe in this great replacement theory, which is an anti-Semitic troll, or not troll.
Confess too much, an anti-Semitic troll.
Philosophy, all the dangerous thinking.
Philosophy, the truth. How about just the truth? And we've got all the proof of it.
Cut off all the money. We work very hard for this called nonprofit security grant. Money for synagogues that have been accosted by anti-Semitic activities, for doors, for windows, for protection.
Oh my God. What is it, like 95% of funding from Homeland Security goes to Jewish groups? Like Trump is only talking about stopping anti-Semitism all the time, and now it's apparently not enough.
So if you look at his actions, a lot of them, he's
as if Trump pulled security or cut funding for Jews. It didn't happen.
Not protecting Jewish people. Again, transactional. You know what he ought to do, Chris? He ought to read my book. He might learn something.
I learned today that there's a guy who runs the anti-Semitism task force in the Trump administration, whose name is Leo Terrell, who is a civil rights attorney who has now been tasked with like running this thing. And there was a tweet by a prominent neo-Nazi basically saying that Trump can revoke the Jew card, the Jewishness. That guy, the anti-Semitism guy, retweeted.
Well, there should be an outcry from his right-wing friends.
What? Trump said, somebody said Trump can pull somebody's Jew card? Sounds like a joke. Come on.
That guy should be fired.
He should be fired for sharing a joke.
Will you come back when you don't have a book?
Sure. I've been here before without a book.
But come back for a good long one.
What is that? Come back without a book.
You have to go pay a ship.
He might as well just call him a greedy Jew. Be like, come back when you're not trying to shill your book and make some shekels, would you?
Also, I'm gonna let you know, Senator Chuck Schumer, it was really a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Look at this Palestinian.
Chuck Schumer, leader of the Democratic Party. He really does have to go.
Look.
All right.
Trump has far too often.
What's going on?
He's done tolerated all kinds of anti-Semitic things.
What's happening?
He regards the Jews.
He regards the Jews. Okay. Now, first on the JFK front. Yeah, that smirk. No more news fix for Zorn der Edom. What's up, buddy? So this is the first thing I saw, and this isn't even new. In fact, I think this came out in the batch that Trump declassified in his first term. I want to say that's when I first saw it. One of the JFK files, it says, so right now we're talking about allegedly had been attempting to negotiate a sale of machine guns to some guy, assassination. Somebody allegedly made a comment the day before the assassination of JFK that, quote, "We now have plenty of money. Our new backers are Jews as soon as we or they take care of Kennedy." So everybody's sharing this one as if this just came out. It didn't. I remember I've referenced this a bunch of times and I've known about it, but I remember like trying to go back and find it and couldn't find it. But I want to say this was like Cuban communist or something. It was who was saying that. I think that's what it was. So here's Dawson's post. Got 6,000 views. He says, okay, release JFK files, but omit everything about Israel. There's your answer without answering. Israel did it. So 80,000 pages. And here's one of them about James Angleton, which CIA maintained with the Israeli intelligence services. Okay, so it's saying Angleton was a liaison with Israel intelligence services. Isn't that something that we've known for a long time? What does it say down here? This should be done since the informant has been developing information to recent months regarding the travel of U.S. citizens to Russia via Israel. Oh, they're going to Russia through Israel. Interesting. CIA has no objection to declassification and release of CIA information in this document except brackets. And in the brackets is Russia and Israel, Israeli intelligence. They're trying to cover up the relationship between Angleton and Mossad and Israel and I guess Mossad agents traveling to Russia through Israel. Oh, U.S. citizens, but also could be Mossad agents. Is this what they were trying to cover up? One of the things they were trying to cover up? Nagomatis, what's up, buddy? Oh, man, I got a frog in my throat. Says, hi, Adam. Thanks for all your great work in the current ocean of insanity. Best wishes for you and your loved ones. Stay strong. Best, William. Good to hear from you, William. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you so much, buddy. The Angleton thing. Guys, have you been seeing other people cover the JFK release? What's some of the highlights that you saw or some of the latest theories? I saw some people like, we're going to show some like Ben Shapiro's and other people's reactions to it as well. But there's that. Okay, what does this one say? The same thing. Also in brackets, the Israeli intelligence service. CIA in the background of the file. CIA directors permitted Angleton to run, what does that say? Several intelligence projects, many of them with the Israeli intelligence service, given authority to the CIA. So they wanted to cover up that CIA was working hand in glove with Mossad since, what is that, in the 50s? In the 1953, we worked on an agreement where Angleton disseminated to us. We attribute information to Bureau informant. So that's what they wanted to cover up, the relationship between Mossad and CIA is what it looks like in those documents. Okay, Ryan says this isn't from today either, so this wasn't even in the new release. So what was in the new release? Everybody's just resharing old shit because it's in the news? Person says the fact that you can read the circled part shows that it's not omitted, but it says that they wanted to omit it. Multiple pages of JFK files found with the CIA requesting mention of Israel to be redacted. Even more now. Israel in brackets. As if anybody, like, nobody's going to know if they don't declassify this. Nobody would know America's working with Israel and Mossad. Nobody could have guessed it. I've been seeing everybody share this. Mossad killed Kennedy. Who is this guy? Martin Sandler?
surprising.
I saw, surprisingly, Roger Stone, who wrote a book on JFK's assassination. Roger Stone was on InfoWars, and I saw him hold up Michael Collins Piper's book, Final Judgment, about how Israel, implicating Israel for the assassination. And Roger Stone held that up and said somebody made him aware of that or sent it to him, that he's going to have to write a new chapter in his book. I had on Laurent Guillonneau a few months ago to discuss his book that is like a summary and quoting and some other research about JFK assassination based on Michael Collins Piper's Final Judgment. Let's hear this one, everybody sharing.
The Mossad killed Kennedy because they were so upset over what he did to Ben Gurion. There's a very surprising series of letters between Kennedy and David Ben Gurion, not only the Prime Minister of Israel, but the founder of Israel, in which they're very angry letters, in which Kennedy is saying to Ben Gurion, I'm killing myself trying to get a nuclear test ban treaty. I've even got de Gaulle on board, and that's impossible. And you keep testing in Dimona. You've got to stop. And Kennedy threatens him. And he threatens him in such a way that Ben Gurion resigns. And I will tell you, forget Lyndon Johnson, forget the CIA, forget Fidel Castro. The Mossad killed Kennedy because they were so upset over what he did to Ben Gurion.
No question, the motive was certainly there. But then we got the JFK movie by Oliver Stone, produced by Israeli agent, like literal Israeli spy agent, Hollywood producer Arnon Milchan. The Savior, this is a big account on Twitter, did a little thread here. Says, Israel's fingerprints are all over him. Would they really have kept back the JFK files for 50 years just because they said remove it, that they were working with Mossad and put Israel intelligence in brackets? Is that really so bombshell that they would cover that up for 50 years? That can't be the big thing they were trying to hide. Has anybody seen anything, any other coverage? Like, what is in this latest release that was so damaging that they had to cover for so long? Okay, we just learned about that. Ben Gurion. Some names linked to Israel were redacted. That's what else I heard, is that there's still redactions in it. Even in the new files, even after 60 years, they're hiding something. Why cover up Israel's connection if there's nothing to hide? Some names linked to Israel were redacted in these new files. I could almost make it out. You could like use Photoshop or something and see what's underneath there. Okay, so it's covered up. Are we showing this because you're claiming that's Israel or something there? One name slipped through. Reuben Efron, a CIA officer with alleged ties to Israeli intelligence, was tracking Lee Harvey Oswald before the assassination. How did Israel end up so close to JFK's killer? A short video you made on it. Reuben Efron, CIA officer with alleged ties to Israeli intelligence, was tracking Oswald.
Israel from developing nuclear weapons. Even the JFK files have just been released, and they lead straight to Israel. When President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, the world was left with more questions than answers. For decades, conspiracy theories pointed fingers in every direction. But now, declassified documents are revealing something much darker, and it all leads straight to Israel. One of JFK's biggest foreign policy battles was against Israel's nuclear ambitions. He was determined to stop Israel from developing nuclear weapons, even demand.
Gulag Kulak says he knew about Reuben Efron before the recent release. Not slipped through. Yeah, funny.
Inspections at the Dimona nuclear facility. This put him at direct odds with then
facility
David Ben Gurion, who resigned shortly after JFK's pressure campaign began. Coincidence? Maybe. But here's where things get really interesting. In these newly released files, certain names linked to Israel were redacted. What could be so bad that it needs covering up 60 years later? And there's also Reuben Efron, a CIA officer with alleged ties to Israel's intelligence, who was tracking Lee Harvey Oswald. How did a man with connections to Israel end up so close to the assassin? And why is no one talking about this? The more you dig into this, the more questions that arise. Was JFK's hard stance on Israel's nuclear program a motive for something far?
Okay. You know what I forgot to show? This is interesting. When Israel started attacking Gaza again after this ceasefire, they say 330 people killed in Israeli airstrike on Gaza, says Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. BBC. What a little odd that there's 330 killed, and just like there was 33 hostages saved in Trump's ceasefire. 33 hostages saved, now 330 killed after the ceasefire. Are these numerologists and gematria obsessed people trying to mess with us here? Makes me wonder. Okay, this is nothing. There's nothing in the files about any of this. Did I misread what this was supposed to be? Not one file. David Icke says the James Jesus Angleton Israel connection to the JFK assassination, the CIA and Mossad working in unison to make it happen, and the Central Israel involvement overall is in my book, The Truth Shall Set You Free, published in 1995. So nothing new. Nothing new here. 33 Mossad job. 30 years ago, it was in David Icke's book. What does this say here? This wasn't just routine. It was deliberate effort to conceal Israel's involvement in sensitive U.S. operations by bypassing standard intelligence channels. Angleton acted as the sole gatekeeper, ensuring that all Israeli-related intelligence was filtered through him alone. I've heard that before. He also controlled the flow of intel to the FBI, carefully scrubbing reports to ensure Israeli intelligence was never directly named, a covert operation hidden in plain sight. Other words, Israeli double agent. Where's the Ben Shapiro one? Shoot, I thought I had a Ben Shapiro. There it is. Okay, let's hear what Ben Shapiro's take on this. Anomaly says his take is wild, and it got 16,000 likes.
1963, sort of conspiracy theorizing that's become incredibly popular on the right these days. It was popular on the left, and now it's become increasingly popular on the right. The kind of, let's just ask questions. We'll ask, who really killed JFK? Wink, wink, nod, nod. And then you're like, well, do you have any evidence?
Come on. People have been obsessed with JFK assassination conspiracies for over 50 years. It's just something new on the right now. Wink, wink. He's really just seething that everybody's thinking it was Israel now.
Of the thing that you are presupposing. Well, no, I'm not making any accusations. I just know I don't believe the story that I'm being told. I know not to trust the authorities. Like, well, that's fine, but do you have like any evidence? Like evidence, not just supposition. I said, well, you're part of it, aren't you? You're part of it. The reason that you're so defensive about all this is, I don't care who killed JFK. I mean, I do, because it's really interesting, but I noticed that the calendar says 2025 and he was killed in 1963. And so my opinion about who killed JFK has about as much.
Oh, but dude, okay. It's a long time ago. That's what you're running with. Oh, it was a long time ago. Who cares? Who cares who killed him, Goy? They're still in charge today, but who cares who killed him? It's not relevant. He says the same thing about, does he say the same thing about the Holocaust? Oh, it's 70 years ago. Stop talking about it, Goy.
Relevance is who killed William McKinley, or James Garfield, which is to say not an enormous amount.
Yeah, isn't the Holocaust older than JFK assassination? Not the best argument there, bud. Or like they're still seething about their temple being destroyed, right? 2,000 years ago. I wonder why Glenn Beck is concerned about people finding out about who actually killed JFK.
But there is something about the state of Israel that connects deeply to me.
Oh, this is just his little rant about how much he loves Israel. This is the tweet. Beck says, when the JFK files are released, it's important that we don't chase the who. The question is really, that really matters is what were they protecting? They're protecting the who. Come on, dude. How can people be so retarded? It's important we don't chase who, but the question is what they are protecting. They're protecting who did it. Duh. Beckstein. Was the government hiding the illusion of competence? Maybe they just dropped the ball. Do these documents reveal the deep state of the 60s? Oh, what if the revelation is not who shot him, but how did we operate? With Israel, apparently. They're operating secretly with Mossad. Okay. What does Henrik say? Glenn, this is the gayest cover for Israel I've read today. Don't ask who. Good one. Good one, Henrik. Okay, now here's Myron from Fresh and Fit super chatted into PBD's podcast, and Schultz starts seething.
No. Your friend's Myron Gaines just did a super chat, so let me read it to you. Vinny, I hope you're ready for this as well. Israel killed JFK to protect their nuclear program. Israel killed RFK because he was snooping around and never trusted the Warren Commission and tried to make them register under FARA. David Ferry and Jack Valenti were shooters. You're welcome. Tell Schultz. Are you guys like that close? Like, are you guys like hanging out, like having dinner together? Like, what's this?
Yeah, that's my buddy. That's what I do. I hang out with a guy like him. No. This is going to make his day. I can't believe we're even mentioning him on a show.
But $100
like
super chat. He did 2 super chats. I mean, that's a way of giving love.
That's a lot of money. Oh, so wait, we're live now. So anybody?
He paid super chat.
Oh, he's paying for that too.
Yeah, he paid super chat. I mean, this is like Chipotle's on us. He paid for it.
The shout out,
dude. How about you just address what he said? Just address what he said. How about that?
We're paying for Chipotle, 100%. But he's definitely right. He's got all the answers. Absolutely. There's nobody that understands geopolitics better than him. 100%. He's got it. I'm 100% sure.
Why am I getting a lot of sarcasm out of you?
There's no sarcasm here. Why would anybody else?
No, what do you think? You get it? Because you're a Jewish comedian, so like you get it?
There's no more. Why would there be any other expert in the world
that would know more? He's a smart guy. He talks about dating relations.
He's acting like he just learned this from Ryan Dawson, by the way. And Dawson learned a lot of it probably from Michael Collins Piper. They were friends, apparently. He told me a while ago that Piper sent him all of his books. AD Mamory says, Adam Goat Shiok. Been waiting to ask you this, but I never catch you live. Is it true there's an article from way before World War II that claims 6 million Jews died from some BS flu? No, I don't think it said that they died from a flu, but there were like the 6 million number was in the newspapers a lot before before World War II. And like during, I think, even too. There's videos. You can find videos of people going through the old newspapers, and I know I've covered it in some of my old videos about the burnt offering. That's what the title was, the video, the burnt offering something.
Relationships,
of course, 100%. 100%.
Thank you, AD.
What do you think, Pat? Do you think he's got all the answers?
But dude, he's not claiming he got all the answers, or he's the one that figured this out or did all the research or something. This is annoying. That'd be like if I said something like Jesus is fake and they go, "Oh, think you got all the answers?" It's like, no, it's I learned this from a bunch of different books, a bunch of other scholars. But yeah, I'm right.
I think this is just the latest internet grift. What do you think?
I will tell you, he's a very good communicator, and this is one of those things that I think he is willing to die on.
Pat, you don't gotta lie, bro.
No, but do me a favor.
A good communicator.
He's like a millionaire podcaster. No, you and all your goofy comedian friends, you're all the good you and the Joe Rogan network, you're the only ones that can communicate. Akin Donation says, Adam, are you going to ship out t-shirts this week? I can't wait to get mine. If you bought one, it's already shipped. I got caught up on all the shipments today. So let me know. If anybody doesn't get theirs in like 2 weeks from now, I'd say, let me know. Or even like a week and a half. If you still haven't got yours, email me. NoMoreNews@protonmail.com.
He's a very good. Can you do me a favor? Pull up the one story about on John F. Kennedy that you guys talked about, I think on Unusual. You know, there was 3 of the files, one of them having to do with Israel.
He's
Is there
gonna have
anything there?
so much fun with that. I mean, like,
Candace is doing a JFK show now. I'd be kind of interested to see that.
you're giving oxygen. You're giving oxygen to these poor guys. You just got to let them go die off. It's close.
You
It's
think
almost
you
done.
think?
No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Let them go die off. Let them go die off. That's the type of things they say.
Okay.
It never happens.
Is that the Bible?
They all they all just destroy themselves.
Oh, so you
guys have beef? Is that what's going on?
I don't even think
we
about
can
this
move
guy.
on.
Is that
I
a
have
thing?
no idea that there's issues. Just so you know that.
He has a little obsession with me.
Awkward.
Okay.
It's a cloud obsession. Like
What do
it's
you
not
mean?
just him. They're like, I guess now you get to a point. You guys have probably experienced this. Like you get to a point where like your name has currency online, so you add your name to something.
Did he even say his name? He super chatted in to talk about JFK, the topic of the day. It said Israel behind it. And now you're seething about him trying to like clout chase after you.
And then
trust me,
spin whatever narrative.
I got it.
Exactly. So now you're giving, you're getting him a couple bucks. He'll get a couple bucks out of this. But you're welcome. So he paid 200.
Seething and evading.
All right.
It's an ROI.
It's the name of the game.
And personal attacking.
All right. So what's this, Rob? What's this one you pulled up?
This was one of the documents that implicated that Israel may have had something to do with the assassination of JFK.
What does it read? See, original background check control files. Angela, CIA directors permitted. Angleton, can't read the rest. Projects, many of them.
So if it's Angleton colluded with Mossad to do the assassination,
their intelligence service, Israel intelligence. He was given authority by the CIA. Okay.
very invested in proving it was not
To be honest
Israel.
with you, I'm not sure. I've not read into the Israeli connection.
I mean, you didn't read the
so
80,000 documents in the last 24 hours?
You know what?
Again, too, everybody started sharing these clips about Israel. We might even find more stuff still. But like, you don't have to read. I didn't read one of the pages of myself, but I saw this same thing all over the timeline, and he hadn't even looked at that. It's like Schultz is like on Twitter, and the JFK files are finally released, and all the #1 posts about it are showing this Israel Angleton connection. And then you're like, oh, I didn't read all 80,000 pages. It's like, no, you purposely didn't even look at the one that everybody posted about Israel. Here he is again. I saw a clip of him just the other day, too, talking about anti-Semitism.
And like we had like Candace Owens and Hassan Piker, they're like different sides of the aisle last week, right?
You like Rogan had Ian Carroll, and you had Candace on like I think the same day.
It was a tough week for Israel.
Jews stayed inside. Jews went to the tunnels. They're like we everybody into the tunnels.
Put the mattresses back in, son. We gotta regroup. And like we had.
It ain't funny when you do it.
Those interests might be bad, FBI bad, Israel bad. Like we just take these like blanket statements when in reality we don't even exactly know what the relationship is. Like I hear all these people like online.
Oh, we just don't even know.
Believe they're not geopolitical.
Look how you can see the big Alex Jones signature right next to the guest. It's like the only one I can make out. It just like stuck out at me. I can't even read any other one.
Political experts at all. They usually yell at OnlyFans girls. And now they're telling me like exactly what happens in the world geopolitically. Like they've become like if you're a guy who used to throw parties and play poker, now you know really what the truth is in the world. So
not exactly the best figureheads and spokesmen.
Oh yeah, Israel's controlling us and making us do all this stuff. It's like, how do we know they're not our errand boys? How do we know when we want someone killed and we don't want our fingerprints on it? We go, yo, BB, do that thing that you were told to do. Like, why are we so quick to believe that we're the ones that are on our knees? I mean,
well, obvious. Why are dude? Is he really doing this? This is so bad. Are you kidding me, Schultz? All of our politicians go and bow down to their wall. The Jews like Adelson and AIPAC are buying off our politicians for their support. The Christians in the government of America believe Israel are the chosen people and that live in the Holy Land. You can't figure out who's controlling who's influencing who. It's outlawed in America to BDS to boycott Israel. Our politicians are constantly condemning anti-Semitism and trying to pass hate speech laws. And you're really going to sit here and be like, who controls who? Maybe they work for us. A Jewish comedian running cover for Israel, even though politics is completely out of his lane. How original.
How do we know when we want someone killed and we don't want our fingerprints on it? We go, yo, BB, do that thing that you were told to do. Like, why are we so quick to believe that we're the ones that are on our knees?
Pilpul engaged.
I mean, to me, it makes way more sense that America would tell another country far less powerful to go do what needs to be done for our interests. Now, what are those interests? That's where things.
What has Israel ever done for our interest? Can you give an example of that? No, never. What has America ever done to help Israel? Oh, I don't know. Just defended them, and they wouldn't exist if it weren't for all the Shabbos Goy Christian Zionists in America. Come on. This is like the level where they say, like, America only exists because of Israel. Israel doesn't exist because of America. It's the other way around.
It's get a little tricky. Like, those interests might be, lining the pockets of Boeing. I don't know what those interests are, but I think that's a far more believable scenario that
good one, Zionist cuck. Hey, BB, blow up the pagers.
Nobody even talks about.
Dude.
Great point.
No, it's not. He's Jewish too, by the way. That's a great point. Dude, that's funny. That's really bad, dude. He's spiraling. He's drowning. He's crashing out. I hope we see more. Ziocope is the best comedy, I know. Dude, they're not sending their best at all. Oh, I forgot this one. White House press secretary says all those who seek to terrorize not just Israel, but also the United States of America will see a price to pay. All hell will break loose.
Well, the Trump administration and the White House were consulted by the Israelis on their attacks in Gaza tonight. And as President Trump has made it clear, Hamas, the Houthis, Iran, all those who seek to terrorize not just Israel, but also the United States of America will see a price to pay. All hell will break loose. And all of the terrorists in the Middle East, again, the Houthis.
All Gog and Magog will unfold. That's all I hear when she says that. All hell will break loose. We're already on the verge of World War III with Russia over Ukraine. And now they have a military treaty agreement, defense pact with Iran and China. And we're threatening about all hell breaking loose.
Hezbollah, Hamas, Iranian-backed terror proxies in Iran themselves.
Yeah, Schultz isn't even a good comedian. I know. I don't think I've ever liked him the slightest bit. I don't think he's ever even made me laugh, honestly. He made fun of Ben Shapiro one time for his small hat. That's all that comes to mind.
Should take President Trump very seriously when he says he is not afraid to stand for law-abiding people. He is not afraid to stand up for the United States of America and our friend and our ally Israel. Well, the Trump administration and
all right. Now the attacks on Tesla. Elon asks, has there ever been such a level of coordinated violence against a peaceful company? I understand not wanting to buy a product, but this is extreme arson and destruction. The DOJ, I guess, the FBI is claiming this is going to be domestic terrorism now. And also there's like Owen Schroyer and some MAGA people are getting swatted in the last few days as well. I guess they're saying it may be the same groups behind these things. And that's what the DOJ is going to be investigating or getting to the bottom of supposedly. Tesla attacks are getting worse. Arson, Molotov cocktails, bouts of gunfire. This isn't new. The left has used violence as a political tool for decades. Only one thing can stop this: force-rooted injustice. I wonder how many attacks have happened, like how many different Tesla dealerships have been vandalized. Elon says this is super messed up. All the late night talk shows are apparently encouraging it.
Jim, they're taking to the streets or the
the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video
Wait a
shows
second.
multiple cars in flames.
Hold on. Is that a applaud track? That didn't sound like a live studio celebrating. Sounded like, what is this, Viacom? Daily Show? Viacom? Comedy Central? They played a celebration track showing leftist violence on car dealerships?
Cybertrucks.
All of this Tesla advertisement that Elon wished he wouldn't get. Leftists love being radicalized.
Targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances.
That's so fake.
And vandalism.
Hold on. Comedy Central is really running audience background music. What do you call it? Not B-roll. They're running applaud audio.
Targeting Tesla.
Over
The same suspect shot more Teslas with a gun. Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in
terrorism, basically.
earlier this month. Shots fired at a Tesla dealership
Because it's political.
Cybertrucks on fire.
Political intimidation is considered terrorism.
You guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh?
Oh, maybe it was the live audience. Oh my gosh. And he's just like, oh, you like that? Cool.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic
Canned applause, laugh track. Those are the terms I'm looking for. Thanks, guys. Cool, he says. Wow. Wow. Elon says this is super messed up. And they claim like they're the good. The left complains like they're the good guys. They're the moral ones. The right is the evil fascists. And then this is how they act. Jimmy Kimmel also calling for more Tesla attacks.
Tesla
Really?
vehicles down other than the stock market for a change. Our co-president, Elon Musk, sent a SpaceX vehicle to bring the astronauts back. And when they landed, he fired them immediately upon landing. Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People have been vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so
what?
Elon Musk has been making the rounds in the right-wing media to try to appear to be a human being. Yesterday,
They're literally calling for terrorism.
Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so
It's fraud and insurance to be reimbursed at 100%.
Elon Musk has been making the rounds in the right-wing media to try to appear to be a human being. Yesterday, he was guest of honor on the Ted Cruz podcast, where Sweaty Teddy, Ted Cruz seems, everything he knows about technology seems to come from movies he's seen. Ted asked Elon a question about the dangers of AI.
Is Skynet real? Like you get the apocalyptic visions of AI.
Is Skynet real? It's a good question, but the way he asked it kind of sounds funny. Garrett Masterpiece McCluskey says Jackie killed JFK. I don't think so, buddy. Frame 313 of the Zapruder film clearly shows his brain shooting almost straight up. Only one person could have achieved that angle. Dude, you can't. You think she pulled the trigger on her husband and then started screaming and crying in terror? Come on. You don't really. Is that a joke, Garrett? You got to be kidding.
How real is the prospect of killer robots annihilating humanity?
20% likely, maybe 10%.
On what time frame?
5 to 10 years.
Whoa.
He's going to try to get that down to 3, but off topic. But Ted
That's
looks
good,
great, doesn't he? I mean, he looks like he got killed by a robot 5 to 10 years ago.
What?
I just want you to what you just.
He looks like who is it? Munster. He looks like Munster.
He looks like he got killed by a robot 5 to 10 years ago. I just want you to what you just saw was a sitting United States senator asking the actual Terminator about the movie Terminator, which he says is about to come true. We also got an update on that war in Ukraine Trump promised he would end in 24 hours.
That's good. And now here's what is it? Tim Waltz. He was the VP with Kamala, showing the Tesla stock and bragging about it going down. That's like celebrating America car manufacturing and American workers losing their companies, basically.
On my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So
celebrating American car companies going down is a good look. Didn't they used to be the party of like the working man?
And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, you know, and take out. Just telling you. I'm saying on my phone.
And everybody will still know it's a Tesla because they have a very distinct look. I've been seeing stickers. Have you guys been seeing the stickers? Like, I saw one yesterday. It was like the anti-Elon Tesla Club. That was the bumper sticker on the Tesla. And I saw another one the other day. It was like something like, "Don't blame me. I don't like him either," is what it said. Yo, 15 from Return to Myth 98. Thank you, buddy. Says, "It's a false paradigm. If you support the leftist vandals, then you're radically anti-white and anti-nature. If you support Elon, then you're supporting EVs and end times Zog control." Fair. You're right. Uh-oh, what is this? Do I need a F5? Huh. Oh, it was the same clip. Oh, and this is the grossest one. This is the super viral one. This guy walks up and scratches his butt and rubs it all over the Cybertruck. Dude, what is wrong with these people? Send this guy a one-way trip to India. This is why I don't like shaking hands with anybody, or this is why I'm a germaphobe, because there's people like this that scratch their butts all day and pick their nose and all types of other gross stuff, cough in their hands and then touch doorknobs and touch shit. Gross ass fucking fat. This looks like the guy from The Simpsons, like the comic book guy from The Simpsons. I didn't even do Simpsons. I just said comic book guy, and there he is. Is that not this guy right now? That's something he would do, too. Dude, he's got some what could come off his butt, dude? This guy probably can't even hardly wipe. It is probably rank down there. He's probably got butt juices and smeared poop all over, dude. This is how disgusting people are. I hope somebody finds out who that is. And he goes to jail. And he thinks, I'm a good person. I mean, I could be critical of Elon too, but the idea of going up to somebody that just liked the truck, this guy that drives the truck might not even like Elon, and you're still gonna go up there with your swamp ass, right, Odysee? I could smell the stink through the screen, dude. I would sell the car if somebody did something like that with their butt juice on my car. I would sell it. I'm never touching that again. Average Redditor. Christianity gave us butt juices. I know. Tesla used to be a liberal thing too. Liberals loved it was all liberals that loved the electric cars, and all the Republicans hated them and trashed them all the time. But then now it's Elon, and he backs Trump and Netanyahu, and now they all. You remember I did the show the other day. You're not a patriot unless you support Tesla. AOC has a Tesla. Immediate sell. He's like, yeah, I know I'm on. He's too stupid. He doesn't realize he's on camera. Yeah, this will make the left look good. This will make everybody hate Elon. Huh? It's not even Elon. Elon doesn't drive this. It's some random person. You're wiping your butt juice. And why am I covering it? You asked why I'm covering this, because I despise the radical left. I despise the Zionist right, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to cover and show how disgusted I am. and how the media encourages this type of stuff. I wouldn't say this type of stuff, but the media winds up these lunatic leftists to do stupid shit like this. No way. Econdonation says, Adam, did you see the Jewish guy who drew a swastika on his Tesla only for the driver to get out and also be Jewish? Is that a clip? Are you kidding me? How did I not see that? So the driver had the guy arrested for anti-Semitism. Are you kidding me? Hold on. I'm just going to do swastika on a Tesla and maybe I'll find it. Oh my God. No! 2 days ago, how did I miss this? Uh-oh. There it goes. Dude, I'm so happy you told me this. You did not see that clip either? I found it. It's just not loading very fast. Tesla. Oh my gosh. Jewish Tesla owner speechless after finding Nazi symbol on his Cybertruck. Avi Ben, wasn't I just saying it? It's probably people that like aren't even fans of Elon that bought this.
Cox Business Connect with Ring Central lets you.
He no longer feels safe.
All in
New York.
In.
Come on. What's going on here? Come on, dude.
All of the places you work.
Ad's almost over.
Listen to this. A Jewish New York City Cybertruck owner was left speechless as he watched a man vandalize his Tesla with a swastika. Elon was also written above the hate symbol, showcasing yet another protest against the head of Doge. And the owner of that Cybertruck, Avi Ben-Hamo, joins us right now. Avi, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So you park your car, your Cybertruck there on a street in Brooklyn. You look out, and there's a guy making a swastika, and you ran out. And what'd you say? What'd you do?
I didn't know what's really going on because I saw the guy messing up with my car. I'm going, and then I see this very anti-Semitic swastika on the car, and I didn't understand.
Dude, it's not anti-Semitic. I don't understand. They're calling Elon a Nazi. They're calling you a Nazi because you drive a Tesla. That's what they're doing. Understand it. They're not saying they hate Jews. They think they're defending Jews by calling Elon and Trump Nazis. And this is what I'm talking about. Why am I covering this? Did I not introduce it at the beginning? Both sides calling each other Nazis all the time. He calls this guy a Nazi, anti-Semitic, and because he carved a swastika and Elon on his car.
I approached him and asked him, "What are you doing?" And he told me very, very disgusting things. I didn't understand what's going on, and he tried to run away.
Was he targeting you? I mean, on your vehicle, there is Hebrew writing, but then again, he's Jewish too. Was he targeting you as a Tesla owner? Was he targeting Elon Musk, who's cooperating with Donald Trump? Who is he?
The guy that did it was Jewish too? Come on.
Taking a shot at?
Clown world.
I could only assume. I can't really know what the guy think, but
It's the meme with all of the Spider-Man. They're all pointing at each other, calling each other Nazis.
He's trying to target me something like this. It's nothing about my car or about me or whatever he's doing, because that's so wrong.
The media reports it as anti-Semitic attack, vandalism, anti-Semitic attack on Jewish driver. That's how the ADL will add this to their statistics, even though a Jew did it to a Jew, to do it for super pro Netanyahu and Jewish Elon. Oh, dude, we're so cooked. It's so tiresome. Is it not so tiresome? Odysee? God, thank you for showing me this, dude. I missed this. I did not even see this. Pure Blood for 5 says, got my no more news Trump. Zog Trump, they live t-shirt. I'm glad it's getting there. The Tesla Cyber Show. Good one.
So after you confronted him, you stood in front of his car. He jumped in his Subaru and he was going to make a getaway. He jumped in to his car. You stood in front of him. He couldn't go anywhere. He jumped out of the car. 90 minutes later, he comes back. Apparently, he was arrested on suspicion of aggravated harassment.
He comes back?
The DA is not going to charge him with anything, but you say, Avi...
No, not charging him with anything? Talk about Jewish privilege. Wife's calling. Hold on. Subaru. Where's Subaru's from? It's like Japanese or something.
Charged with a hate crime.
Hold on.
Why?
Correct, sir. First of all, when he ran back to his car, I stand over there and he tried to run me over with his car. So when he saw that I called the police...
Jewish rage?
Saw that I'm on the line with the police. He went outside, locked the car, and ran away. And left his car, blocking the bike lane, and ran away.
Funny.
That's what I saw.
Right. You say, Avi, that the New York City and cops should do something to make Jews feel safer, and Brooklyn does not feel safe anymore.
Well, the Jew didn't feel safe. He had to tag up a swastika on this Jewish guy's car because he didn't feel safe with the Nazi Tesla parked on the street.
Why do you drive a Cybertruck?
I love the car. I like the car. I like electric car. Nothing specific about politics or Elon Musk or nothing. I just like electric cars. And I drive electric cars. That's about it.
It's as simple as that. And it appears you
Nazi
were targeted. This is a statement from the suspect's lawyer to Fox News Digital. They said, our client, who is also Jewish, deeply regrets touching the other man's car and using a hate symbol in the message. He was dealing with a host of personal issues at the time, and the action was out of character. He was released from
Jewish schizo, Jewish spurg out.
Done to the vehicle, and no crime was committed.
No damage done to the vehicle?
What do you have to say, Avi, to either the guy who wrote on your car or the lawyer regarding that statement?
First of all, as a Jewish, I don't feel safe anymore in Brooklyn or in New York. If the guy...
You don't feel safe as a Jew because some psycho Jew is going to come and attack you? Jews are on Fox News saying they don't feel safe because another Jew spurged out against anti-Semitism. I don't feel safe. Come on. Dude. Guys.
Are you not entertained?
Why is that not play? Are you not entertained?
We have an issue. It's not supposed to go ahead and do something against to other people's car. And that's literally...
No charges. Straight out of the Talmud. Yeah. No crime here. The DA is like, just let Chabad and the rabbis handle this one. This one's a little too Jewish.
Anti-Semitic. I think we have over here a bigger issue that in the city, the police, the DA, and the city should charge people like this and should prosecute people like this with whatever they're doing. They need to pay for it. Otherwise, other people not going to be safe, and Jewish people not going to be safe in the city.
Dude,
Avi, exit question.
This is not an attack on Jewish people. Dude, this feels like an Onion fucking video. Is this Babylon Bee satire? Jews aren't safe. Jew on Jew violence, says Stacia. This is... I'm at a loss of words.
You going to continue to drive your Cybertruck in New York?
For sure, sir.
Okay, good enough. Avi, thank you very much for joining us and telling us your story.
What? Dude. Good job telling me about that one, man. I almost missed that. Incredible.
I do.
All right. Where are we at? An hour and 5 minutes. Now we're doing Christian lies exposed the rest of this segment. See Through It All found a new great clip of Rabbi... Why am I forgetting his name right now? Mizrahi. Rabbi Mizrahi really lays it out here. See Through It All says, it's over. And the Christians just really love to pretend that all of these clips don't exist. They like to completely ignore what the rabbis actually say and believe. See Through It All says, Christian lies. Where do we start? So many. Volca Spirit says it's cool to have Paper Jesus back. Always wondered what happened to that dude. Yeah, he posted his new t-shirt looking all swole in his new T-shirt. He might come on the show again. I'll have to talk to him.
Same thing the Christians here in America. You have 50 million evangelists. They are very strong right-wing pro-Israel. More than Channel 14, by far. According to them, Israel should occupy the Temple Mount, kick the Arabs out of there, destroy the mosque with the golden what do you call it? Dome, and build the third temple. And we should help Israel to destroy Hamas. We should wipe out Hamas. We should destroy Gaza. We should destroy Lebanon. That's their opinion, these Christians. You may come and say, wow, they're better than the religious Jews I know.
He calls Christian Zionists better than religious Jews.
Look how they talk about God and the temple and Jerusalem belong to Israel. We should move the embassy there. It's wonderful. There's only one problem. All of what they say is for one reason. They believe that after we will control Israel, JC, their fake Messiah, will show up. They're not doing it because they love us or because they love us in a war against them.
So we're going to play some Dennis Prager clips right after this that actually say the same thing but then refute his point. Look at this face. Does this look like a face of Jews that are scared of Jesus returning? Do you think they're scared of all the Goyim believing in the Jewish Messiah Jesus, who they know is fake? Look at this.
JC, their fake
Does he look scared
Messiah
here?
will show up.
Does he look scared? Hey, Christians, does it look like he's scared that you believe in Jesus here? Is that the face of fear? Is he just acting? Is he really trembling in his boots that Jesus is going to return and cast him into the lake of fire? Does he seem scared to you? He thinks you're retarded and he's laughing at you. Wake up, Christians. That's the face of a psychopath and a devil. I should invite Mizrahi on. I will. He looks like a happy little boy. Oh, yeah. Jesus, their fake Messiah that we created and gave them, stupid Goyim. They are not even 0.0001% worried or concerned about Jesus returning.
They're not doing it because they love us or because they love us in a war against them.
Yeah, they're cope. You believe the rabbis. So you think this guy's just like a Academy Award-winning actor? And he's not just in flow state telling you what he thinks? See through it all says he's a funny Jew. I'll give him that. Dude, I'll bring him on. I'll be like, dude, tell us about the Goyim, Mizrahi. Tell us what's going to happen if we don't worship you and your Messiah when in the Messianic age. He'll be like, oh, it's going to be very bad for you, Goyim. He dyed his hair. Yeah, he's no beard and dyes his hair. He looks like he could be Eddie Munster too.
Believe that after we will control Israel, JC, their fake Messiah, will show up.
Yeah, Eddie
They're
Monster.
not doing it because they love us or because they love us in a war against them.
Yeah, most honest rabbi.
In their belief that JC is the Messiah. And they read in the prophecy when the Messiah would come. And they know we are in the end of days. They will be very disappointed to see that the Mashiach, for sure, it's not JC. Hashem organized it that this fake belief that they have in their fake religion called Christianity, helping us.
Helping us. Christians are helping them by your support and by your stupid opposition, your kosher opposition. They always say God did it, or they'll brag that Jews did it. It was Jews. Their God's not real. Jews created Christianity and sold the lie to the Gentiles.
Very disappointed to see that the Mashiach, for sure, it's not JC. Hashem organized it that this fake belief that they have.
Hashem organized, the Jews manufactured this fake belief that helps them. And all I keep hearing from these Christians online that apparently don't ever watch the show and refuse to watch any of these clips and compilations, they just keep repeating, nothing they hate more than Christians, nothing they hate more. They do hate you, but they see the benefit that you have brought. They don't like really love you. They think you're their useful idiot, moronic, controlled opposition.
In their fake religion called Christianity, helping us. That's the reason United States is with Israel for 50, 60 years already. If there would not be Christianity here, the last thing they care about would be Israel. What do they need Israel for?
If not for Christianity, the government, the last thing that the world would care about is Israel and messiahs and prophecies. Without Christianity, none of the Goyim would care about the Jews and their God and their covenant. But you think there's nothing they hate more than all the Goyim wanting to have the covenant and believing in the prophecies and bowing down to a Jewish Messiah. No, nothing they hate more than all the Goyim worshiping the God of Israel and believing in Jewish prophecies. Nothing they hate more when in reality, it's the main objective of Judaism is to get all the Goyim to be in fear, bowing down to the Messiah and the God of Israel.
It's all from Christian ideology. What's better, a secular United States or a Christian United States? So now we have between idol worshippers that follow Christianity or total atheists. What's better? Rabbi Victor Miller, by him everything was clear. So absolutely, we should hope that there will be a very strong Christian state.
All right? Game, set, match. It's over, Christians. This isn't one time. We've got lots of clips of them saying this. They prefer Christianity to paganism. They prefer Christianity to atheism. Christianity served the prophetic purpose of Judaizing the Goyim and getting them to abandon their pagan traditions and religions and myths and instead believe in the Jewish fake history. This one needs to go in a compilation. He says it's so very clear. Would they prefer a Christian America or an atheist or pagan America? They prefer the Christians. Okay? He can't lay it out any more clear for you guys. And the Christians think that they could just bury their heads in the sand forever and ignore all of the rabbis bragging about this.
States or Christian United States. So now we have between idol worshippers that follow Christianity or total atheists. What's better? Rabbi Victor Miller, by him everything was clear. So absolutely, we should hope that there will be a very strong Christian state. Why? An atheist, everything by them is against God. They don't do one thing he likes. Everything they believe in is against Hashem. Christians, 80% of what they believe, it's not against Hashem. So
80% of what you believe is not against Hashem. You're almost perfect Noahides. You believe in the laws of Moses. You believe in the Jewish covenants. You believe in the prophets of Israel. Pagans, though, pagans and atheists, you're Amalek. Christians, though, you're helping them, and you believe 80%, and you believe our Bible is true, and you're almost perfect Noahides, and you're waiting for a Messiah to come too. So he hates Jesus. He won't even say his name. He says JC, but then he'll also say he wants America to be Christian. Okay? These Christians online are so bad faith how they pretend to not get this. Or maybe they're just stupid. Maybe their brains they're such simpleton brains that they can't comprehend a little bit of nuance and see the big picture here and the reality of what's going on.
So yes, they make a critical mistake when they believe in a fake Messiah. They worship him, they say he's God, Son of God, all kinds of different beliefs, which is a big problem, but that's their problem, not ours.
See, Christianity is your problem. They don't like Christianity for Jews, but Christianity for the Goyim, they see the value in that. Great clip. That one I got to make sure to get recorded, go in a compilation. Look at this. Here's DC Drano. Says he is a proud Christian and he loves Jesus. This is one of the guys. He's got, what is it? 2.1 million followers. Christian MAGA conservative. He was the one that held up the binder of the JFK Nothing Burger folder Return to Myth 98 says, and yet religious Christian onliners want to be the real this. They want to be the real Jews. Draining Zio balls. Conor McGregor, breaking. Conor McGregor has officially announced that he will run for the president of Ireland. I bet he's going to win, too. He's going to win, and he's going to be a MAGA Trump agent. MAGA Trump Zionist agent. Watch. I have a feeling. DC Drano says, I'm proud Christian and love Jesus. I kept reading about this Schofield Bible situation on X and how Jews influence the Bible, so I wanted to investigate for myself. What I found blew my mind. Not only was Jesus a practicing Jew in his human life, not only was his holy mother Jewish, all of his followers, disciples, and early converts Jewish, but I asked Grok how many books in the Bible were written by Jews, and he said pretty much every single one of them. 65 out of 66, except maybe for Luke. Did I get mad? No. I know that Jews are our brothers and sisters, and all of us are children of God. We have so much more in common than what drives us apart. 11,000 likes. And the Christians just have to sit back and take it. All the internet Christian crusaders just got to sit back and take it because it's all true. You can't refute them. There's nothing you can do. If you don't want to worship a Jew and a Jewish religion, there's nothing you can do besides leave it. It's the only way. See Through It All says, don't black pill Conor McGregor politics yet. Sorry, See Through It All, but we'll see. I'm usually on the dot about this type of stuff. I mean, there's a reason he came and visited Trump's White House right before he made his announcement. But then again, oh, and he's a Christian too. Watch. Conor McGregor is Christian, so. Author of Luke is also Jewish. Yeah, it's not even right to call him Luke because that name was attributed later. And it's not an eyewitness and a companion of Paul as it claims to be. And yeah, very likely the arguments they use to say that Luke was Christian or Gentile are like Christian apologist tier arguments. Public service announcement to Christians. Jews are laughing at you. What does the meme go? Like, we are laughing at you. What is that from? That might be a good caption. We are laughing. Oh, it's from Anchorman. I already have a few Anchorman sound bites too. He said it again, and we'll play the time he said it the other day. Here's Dennis Prager talking about Christians who support Israel.
In Israel, there'd be the moronic Jews who say, oh, you can't work with Christians who support Israel because the only reason they're doing it is because the Jews will gather in Israel, there'd be an apocalypse and Christ will come. So I say to these people, two of the most powerful words in all of debate, so what? Okay, let's say you're right. You have mastered Christian theology. You got it, man. Brilliant. They're going to support us until Jesus comes. Why is that a problem to a Jew?
Do you hear the Jews are just roaring in laughter, roaring applause and laughter, laughing about how the Christians are their Noahide slaves and they know they believe a lie, but it helps them anyway, and they're laughing knowing that Jesus is never going to return. How much longer do you guys want to be the butt of the jokes of the Jews? That's why I said public service announcement. Jews are laughing at you. And they go, you're attacking Christians. We're trying to save the Christians from the embarrassment and from the brainwashing. Conor McGregor will kiss the wall. Yeah, he won't win unless he goes and visits the wall. That's a good one. Good call. In fact, that could be a good meme. I'm going to do Grok, Conor McGregor kissing the wall in Israel, and say, McGregor announces his run for presidency. Boom.
Theology, you got it, man. Brilliant. They're going to support us until Jesus comes. Why is that a problem to a Jew? You see how you have to realize how stupid that is? A, it's not true, but even if it were true, why does that perturb a Jew? We'll have Christians to support till the second coming. That's a deal. So that's...
See, you get it? Do you get it now? They're not lying. I don't believe the rabbis. You're in denial, ignoring and avoiding and suppressing the Jews just having a big old laugh at your expense. It's funny how the Christians, they would have just kept repeating, nothing they hate more, nothing they hate more. They really hate Jesus. And you didn't even know about all this stuff until our guys in See Through It All started clipping them all up saying it.
That's one moronic and ignorant argument that the Jews will get, not to take the support of the biggest group of supporters of the Jews on earth. Christian supporters, Christian Zionists, if you will. Next argument, oh, Dennis, come on, they're only doing it to convert Jews. So then I asked them again, I love asking questions. Really, do you know any Jews who converted to Christianity because Kufi supports Israel? Birnbaum, your neighbor, is it his? You talking about him? Who are you talking about? Who are the Jews who have converted to Christianity because Christians support Israel?
And like when they go, oh, they try to outlaw it in Israel, they don't want Jews falling for Christianity. It's only for the Goyim. That's why they had the bill that never even got voted on. It was already smashed before it was voted on, to stop proselytizing in Israel.
Can't name one. By the way, and even if they could name one, that's not the purpose. That's not the purpose. It's such a bizarre, again, a bizarre made-up notion. By the way, I just want to say Christians who support the Jews in Israel have converted me to a Christian lover. I just want to make that clear from the bottom of my heart.
Dennis Prager is a Christian lover.
If you Christians who support Israel on biblical grounds, if you weaken, it's over. I worry deeply for Israel and I worry deeply for America. You are the strength of the United States of America on everything, not just on Israel. Okay, so if it isn't to convert Jews and it isn't to hasten the second coming through an apocalypse in the Middle East and worldwide because the Jews are in Israel, why do Christians like Kufi support the Jews in Israel? Well, the biggest reason, though not only, the biggest reason, and there's a way to prove this, wake up a Kufi member at 2 a.m. in the deepest REM moments of sleep and say, quickly, why do you support Israel? And
you know what? I just realized that he's speaking at Kufi. He's not talking to Jews. So it's even worse. The gullible Goyim are laughing at themselves being pawns, being conned pawns. Pawns, sorry.
They will go like this, because God blesses those who bless the Jews and curses those who curse them. May I go back to bed?
Oh, now he's laughing at them to their faces about how they're so brainwashed that they believe they're cursed unless they bless the Jews. And they sit there and laugh. Incredible.
If you gave a Christian who supports Israel truth serum, that's what they would come out with. Christians who support Israel have this quaint notion, one not shared, unfortunately, by either most Gentiles or even most Christians, for that matter, and certainly most Jews, that the Bible may in fact be ultimately from God. It's a very quaint idea. It's a quaint notion that, some of us actually take seriously. So when God says to Abraham that I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you, people like me and Christians and some Jews say, is that true? Well, if God says it, it must be true. So I'll give a different test. No faith. You have no faith. Are those who bless the Jews blessed and those who curse the Jews cursed? I would say if you're an atheist, the answer is, it apparently is so. Let's take the world today.
No, I don't think it's as an atheist you say so. No, if you criticize the Jews or oppose the Jews, you get destroyed by Jewish power and by Christians, which are an arm and a branch of Jewish power, of Jewish theology.
Country has blessed the Jews the most in the last 100 years? The United States of America. What country has been the most blessed in the last 100 years? The United States of America. Now, you may say it's a coincidence. I am certain it is not a coincidence. I am certain that the day that America begins to abandon Israel will be the day that you can date the beginning of the decline of the United States of America. It will mean forgetting, not because God will punish, even though that is very possible, but not because, it just is built in, because it means that your moral compass is broken. Societies with a broken moral compass are not blessed. In the long run, they are failures. Not that all Israelis are good or all Arabs are bad. The idea is so preposterous I shouldn't even have to say it. Not all Germans were bad, not all Americans were good, but in World War II, America was good and Germany was bad, okay?
It's never black and white, except this one time, the most important time. And what was Germany doing? They were escaping the Abrahamic matrix. And then the Judeo-Christian America and England and the Judeo-Communist Soviet Empire all attacked them. Oh, and by the way, I saw this too. They go like, oh, Germany was predominantly Christian before the Nazis came to power. So you're saying that Germany was 94% Christian when the so-called Jewish problem grew out of control? So Christianity didn't stop that, and then the Nazis came to power and were leaving Christianity and then got destroyed by all the Judeo-Christian communists around the world? Not the win you think it is. Breaking news, Trump signs executive order to eliminate the Federal Department of Education. You know what that means? I bet you some states, mark my words, look, why did I think this? Wait, zoom, enhance, beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. What do we got here? A little student signing away at something too? Hello, fellow students. Anyway, what I was going to say is certain states now are going to start teaching the Bible in schools, and they're going to have their Noahide law, moment of silence, moment of prayer in schools, in public schools under state law. Mark my words, that's where this is going. Beep, beep, boop, enhance, Noahide law, moment of silence. Is he going to say anything? They're all signing their signatures?
Okay.
What the fuck? Watch, that's what's going to happen. That's why they're trying to do this, so they can get it at the state level and states can start teaching the Bible. And there's 7 Noahide law indoctrination in the schools. Did I miss a super chat here? We're looking a little higher. Come on, load. See through it all. Another one of Prager. It really is this simple. Why does Dennis Prager root for Christianity? The top Zionists in America are all over the internet promoting Christianity, and then these Christians act like the only way to beat them is to believe in Christianity. Come
world to my Torah. Now, Christians would say that he chose the Jews, and that out of the Jews he would bring his Messiah, and through that Messiah, the whole world would be led to worship the God of the Jews, which I would...
Y'all, the Goyim worshiping the God of the Jews. Beautiful. Sorry, I missed some super chats here. Let's see. Froggy McGee says, we're right back in the dark ages again, Adam. Thanks, Jews, Christians, and Muslims for ruining everything and everyone. Thank you, Froggy Man. Pure Blood says, got my no more news. Trump, Zog, Trump, they live t-shirt. Awesome. Pure Blood, glad it got there. Jesus never existed says, Adam, can you cover the Little Season horse shit? I don't know what you mean by Little Season. It has been popping up in my YouTube threads because I've been watching Static in the Attic. Little Season is what it's called? What does Little Season mean? Has anybody else heard of that? I'm not seeing anything about Little Season if I search that. Sorry, bro. Bolu says, funny as fuck. Thanks, Adam. Hail Woden. Thank you, Bolu, for the 15. Stacia, Jew on Jew violence. Laugh out loud. Garrett Masterpiece McCluskey says, if they are both named Schwartz, is that black on black crime? I don't get it. Schwartz is a Jewish name. Why would you say it's black on black crime? Garrett. Return to Myth says, and yet religious Christian onliners want to be the real this. Optics Prime says, Penda of Mercia was the last pagan Anglo-Saxon king in 600 AD. Cool. Nice factoid. Optics Prime. Tell me more.
Now, Christians would say that he chose the Jews, and that out of the Jews he would bring his Messiah, and through that Messiah, the whole world would be led to worship the God of the Jews, which I would say is the case.
Schwartz means black in German. That's right. Brother Nathaniel always says that.
Among Christians.
That's
the Christians
why,
worship the God of the Jews.
That's why I root for Christians.
The Messiah. Clip that right there. Christians worship the God of the Jews. That's why he roots for Christians.
The God of the Jews.
That's why I root for Christians.
The Messiah will come, and the worship of the God of the Jews will be made universal.
Oh, what was that, Rabbi Dyer? The Jewish Messiah comes, and then the worship of the God of the Jews will become universal. All the Goyim worshiping the God of the Jews in fulfillment of the Jewish prophetic plan. Nothing they hate more than that, right? Their prophecies being fulfilled, and all the Goyim believing in their magical sky daddy.
The Messiah will come, and the worship of the God of the Jews will be made universal.
I'm a believing Jew who is rooting for Christianity to succeed. You are bringing the world to my Torah and my God. God bless you. That is exactly what I believe. That is right. But here again, so many Christians didn't do that. There's even worse. There's a replacement theology. Jews schmooze. We're the new Israel.
Look, there's a lot of bad theology. We can't go into that. We've only got a couple of minutes left.
Just had to note it.
Yeah, they're not real Christians. The Christians with all the power and the millions and the huge platforms, they call you not the real Christians. And then you call them not the real Christians, and you got your no true Scotsman.
Okay, so
wanted to make you feel bad.
I have to ask
Obviously,
you. Now, by the way,
failed.
you know Jesus was a Jew, right?
No.
Yeah, but I just have to ask you, because you're around so many Christians, do you think it could be possible that Jesus could be the Messiah of the Jews? Is it possible?
It is possible. The issue, if the only claim for Jesus that Christians made was he was the Messiah, there would not have been a separated religion. You literally would have had Jews and Jews for Jesus.
The only problem with saying the Messiah is God violates the oneness of God. Although you can make a good case that they believed in a dual Godhead, and the Son of Man is also divine. It has judgment and divine rule and has a throne. Daniel Boyarin argues for that, but see, it wouldn't even have been a separate sect if they just didn't throw in the Trinity.
You literally would have had Jews and Jews for Jesus. That's all it would have been. It would not have become a Gentile religion, which is what ultimately it became, with a smattering of Jews, obviously. That the issue was the divinity of Jesus and the Trinity. That is the arena of, that's where the separation into another religion came, not over the Messiah issue.
Yeah. Good point. And it's so funny. I'll see the Christians online fear-mongering about the Noahide laws, or like, not fear-mongering. They're raising the alarm. They're sounding the alarm, raising the flag about Noahide laws. Except the Christians don't get it that you are already almost perfect Noahides. You already got Noahide conned. All they got to do is convince you the Trinity's retarded, which it's not even in the Bible, and it basically is illogical and retarded. No, it's the essence, and it's the same, but it's different, and it's the God and the Son, but they're also the same, and Jesus is actually praying to himself. Okay. Good luck with all that. Good luck with all that noise. Another Prager.
What do you mean?
And it's funny, the Christians will never share these. They'll share if it's some Jews on the street spitting on a Christian because they're going up and telling them, Yeshua, you got to believe in Yeshua. And then they get in a clash. They'll share those, but then they'll never share all of the big Zionist promoting Christianity.
Make of the fact that, at least my sense is that the most devout Christians, evangelical Christians in particular, but the most devout Christians seem to be the most pro-Jewish and pro-Israel. I'm sure that's not lost on you. What do you make of it?
Oh, I was the keynote speaker at many CUFI annual events, Christians United for Israel, the largest Christian group. I spoke at Pastor Hagee's church in San Antonio on a number of occasions. I've been to nights to honor Israel at churches around the country. So I know of this, and it's really funny. You know, I was attacked by some lefty. I loved it. It was really awesome. Prager, he's a Christian lover. Which is true. I am a Christian lover. I'm an American Christian lover. Europe's Christians are a very mixed bag. But no, that's a very important thing, and I make that point to American Jews. Don't saddle America's Christians with the sins of Europe's Christians. That's just it's ahistorical and it's immoral.
So you got your villain demonized, censored and attacked and scapegoated Christians of Europe. He means like basically Catholics and Orthodox. And then you got your servants. You got your servants and your useful idiot controlled op slaves.
So, you know, they only support Israel because it'll hasten Jesus' second coming, which they made this up. These people who know, you know what I do with these people? I say, God, you know so much about Christian theology. I'm really impressed. Name the 4 Gospels. And that ends the discussion. Yeah. They can't. So but that's what they do. They go, oh, the only reason. So by the way, I say to Jews who say this, okay, let's say it's true. The only reason that Christians are supporting Israel and the Jews is to hasten the second coming of Christ. Why are you troubled by that? You don't think he's coming again. That means they'll help us forever.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Did we capture that? That's good.
That's hilarious and true. You're going to be helping them forever. And Jesus ain't coming back unless you help them fulfill all their prophecies.
And because this is really important, I'm delighted. I'm very proud of this fact, and it's a strange life, if you will. Very few pastors are as responsible for the number of people who have come back to church as this Jew is. I just want to say that for the record. I also want to add, because this is really important, I'm delighted by that fact. If Christianity fails in the West is over. I am as committed to the success of Christianity in the West as the most fervent evangelical Christian or Catholic in this auditorium, because I know what will happen.
This is Ask a Jew, Ask a Gentile show by Hugh Hewitt.
There was a Jew, Heinrich Heine, the greatest, considered in many ways the greatest German prophet. I consider him a prophet, greatest German poet. And he was a completely assimilated Jew, but a Jew. And he wrote 101 years, I think it is, before Hitler assumed power. And I'm paraphrasing. If Christianity fails in Germany, what will happen will make the French Revolution look like a walk in the park. The German gods will unleash all their fury, and they will be held to pay. He predicted World War II and the Holocaust 100 years in advance, and he said exactly why it would happen. I am witnessing it. We're not witnessing, thank God, a Holocaust or anything like that in the West right now, but the breakdown that is happening.
See how scared they are of a rise of paganism in the West? Of the German gods, as he just said it? Oh, there's nothing they hate more. No, just who did he say? I missed. Was it a Jew or a Christian? Completely assimilated Jew. Okay, wrote 100 years.
101 years, I think it is, before Hitler assumed power. And I'm paraphrasing. If Christianity fails in Germany, what will happen will make the French Revolution look like a walk in the park. The German gods will unleash all their fury, and they will be held to pay.
They're scared of the German gods. Jesus God, they laugh at you that you believe in it. And they want you to believe it.
He predicted World War II and the Holocaust 100 years in advance, and he said exactly why it would happen. I am witnessing it. We're not witnessing, thank God, a Holocaust or anything like that in the West right now, but the breakdown that is happening because Christianity is breaking down. Churches are closing at regular rate, weekly, monthly. Maybe I wouldn't expect you to know the answer to this.
Nobody believes in the Jewish magic anymore, and they're worried about it. Return to Myth for 30. Thank you, Return to Myth 98. Oh. Jews play the subversive rulers of the raceless wasteland. Muslims play the savagely violent enforcers. Christians play the part of the sitting duck population. Fuck this false choice. Odin for the All-Father 2028 and forever. I know, I'm sick of the Jewish paradigm. All these Abrahamic matrix gatekeepers, real sick of it.
But I know that it's happening frequently. So please understand where I come from. Now back to the theology. I believe that God wants the world to come to Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is where the Ten Commandments were given to Moses.
See, they want the world to come to their Jewish God.
I believe that that is for the whole world. Any religion that brings the world to the God of Sinai and the Ten Commandments of Sinai is my ally. At its best, Christianity didn't always do this. But at its best, like American Christianity, that is what it does. So to me, I have long ago believed that Jesus was the vehicle of...
And that's not even true. Every Christian believes in the Old Testament and believes in the God of Sinai.
So to me, I have long ago believed that Jesus was the vehicle of my God, the God of Sinai, to bring the world to Sinai. The Jews, as it were, needed help. We haven't done a great job bringing the world to Sinai. We did a great job introducing this world into the world, and then because of a whole host of reasons, both internal and external anti-Semitism, we didn't do the job that was, I believe, incumbent upon Jews to bring the world to God in Sinai. Christians have taken that up, and the greatest Jewish philosopher who ever...
Christians have taken up the goal to bring the world to the Jewish God, Yahweh. And he's very happy about it. The Jews couldn't impose Yahwehism on the world, but they could infiltrate the Roman Empire and co-opt and hijack the Roman Empire in the name of Yahweh. And they could do it. And that's why Christianity was created.
Whoever lived, Maimonides, in the 12th century wrote, Christianity has brought the world to the Torah. So this is a traditional Jewish view. We, in my view, are allies in God's work in this world. The issue for Jews was the divinity claim that Christianity made, not the messianic claim. If the only claim people made about Jesus was he's the Jewish Messiah, then they would have been Jews for Jesus, literally, Jews who believed in Jesus as the Messiah. It's the Trinitarian and
Christianity did start with Jews for Jesus. Okay, I saw a comment here. Yeah, Gorgon Blutt says, I refuse to believe there's any actual high IQ Christians left who aren't just grifting.
Of a second religion.
I agree. All right, here we go. Nothing they hate more than Jesus, right? And because I'm wearing the same outfit.
We've been around. Please believe that there was actually...
We're going to play this one again. I want to be able to have a little segment to share when they say there's nothing they hate more than Jesus, so I'll have to just show all the actual receipts again for you lying Christians.
My opinion as a Jew, as a Zionist, who cares? Why would it matter to us? Because we've been around 4,000 years. And
yeah, they don't need you anymore. You've served your role. They don't need you anymore. They got it from here. Now you can be cut off and destroyed. You've served your purpose. The fullness of the Gentiles has come in.
We introduced you people, the world, to a singular God, to one.
They introduced you to the God of the Jews. That's what he's saying. To the God of Israel and Zion and the Jews. And yes, it is the God of the Jews because Paul explicitly says it's the God of the Jews. And because it was only people known as Jews for hundreds of years before Christianity. It's the Jewish God.
God. Prior to that, everybody was worshiping idols. Even we were. So we introduced you to one God. You guys, 2,000 years later, when Christianity began, took it somehow to think, the only difference is you think Jesus is the Messiah, God, whatever. We don't think he is. We're still waiting for him. Number two, if you want to know the truth, I think that...
You want to know the truth? You ready for the truth, Goyim? Shalom, Goyim. You want to hear the truth now?
Two, if you want to know the truth, I think that, obviously, I think Jesus was a holy man. He was a Jewish scholar, basically lived as a Jewish man. To be quite frank, this may sound weird, since I don't believe he was the Messiah. I actually go as far as to think that it was kind of, I think at the time, the Jews and the Romans conspired and said, you know what, we got too many pagans out there, too many non-believers. And the Romans didn't like it.
Hold on. The Romans were not complaining about pagans and non-believers in Yahweh. It was just the Jews. I like how he tries to sneak the Romans in there. It was just the Jews that were complaining about the pagans and pagan Rome.
So I think from a Jewish standpoint, we were thinking, you know what? These people, they're pagans, a lot of them. They don't believe in anything. And we don't want them to believe in false idols, a bunch of idols. So let them think this Jewish guy is God. Let them think that, because at least they'll be following the Ten Commandments. They'll be following the Old Testament.
At least if they need to believe in a demigod character, a dying and rising pagan type of God, then let them believe in the Jewish Messiah. Let them believe in the God of Israel. Let them believe in the Old Testament and the covenant of the Jews. Let them believe that the Jews were God's chosen people.
I hate to say it, but we kind of manufactured him to appease you people.
They manufactured Jesus to theologically conquer you people, to destroy paganism and turn all the Goyim Noahide quasi-Jews.
We needed you people to get in line, you pagans, I think.
So the Jews manufactured Jesus to get you pagans in line and make you Noahides and worship the God of Israel, which was the whole point of Judaism. And I love how all of these Orthodox on this channel are hearing it straight from this Jewish guy's brain, and they still won't get it. They'll be like, no, there's nothing they hate more than Jesus.
They had to see a man in person to believe that there was actually a God, where us Jews believed that there was a God. We didn't need that. So, but you people needed it. We brought him to you. That's
we brought him to you. We brought this Jesus manufactured person to you.
Why he's Jewish. And I hate to say it, it got you people at least following the initial Old Testament. You took it a little too far with the Christianity and all this other stuff, but more power to you. I would rather have you people believing that a Jewish guy is your God than not believing it.
See, there it is right there. Come on, Christians. This is case closed. This is what they actually say. I've seen a rabbi make this exact same points, by the way. So would they rather have all the Goyim worshiping their God and believing in their prophecies and bowing down to a Jewish Messiah or not? There you go. There you have it. New compilation. This needs to be in it with a couple other of the new latest clips and the highlights. Okay, there's one.
My opinion is a Jew.
Uh-oh. Here's another mix from See Through It All. This was good.
Christ was God. It said to Dennis Prager, something. Christ is king, and he said Christ was a Jew. So they're clearly not on the same page.
He was.
No, Christ was God.
So that was favorite Jew all time?
Favorite Jew? Jesus Christ.
Who's the most powerful Jew?
Interesting question. Jesus Christ.
Jesus is the king of the Jews. He's the king of the world.
What do you think it is about the Jews? I mean, 3,000 years ago, they were a big deal. I mean, let's recognize there's something going on there.
Well, God chose them to bear the Savior.
God chose them to bear the Savior. Our Savior is Jewish. Hey, you Jews were chosen to bring us the Savior.
It's because the promise is that the Savior will be born through the Jews to save the world. And that is what happened.
Hey, guess who else says that? The Jews. Who else believes that the Messiah is to be born from the Jews to save the world? More like to enslave the world. The Jews. And then they'll say, we believe the rabbis, when Rabbi Dyer and Fuentes and E. Michael Jones all believe the Messiah is to save the world, is to be born from the Jews. Like it says, salvation is of the Jews.
2,000 years ago.
We believe that Jews had this Messiah that they had prophesized, and he arrived, and his name was Jesus. Problem is that the Jews turned away from their Messiah. Jesus Christ was their Messiah, and they didn't accept him.
They were God's chosen, and yet they reject Christ.
The Jewish people rejected him, and the Jewish people, in rejecting him, in rejecting the Messiah that they were to bear. And a lot of the Jews, of course, the early Christian community was mostly Jewish people who then became Christians.
The original Judeo-Christian were the Jews that converted to Christianity.
America should be run by American patriots, and they should be Christian. They should worship the only true God.
And how could you be anti-Semitic when Jesus was a Jew?
The Jews have the only true God.
Like, well, but Jesus was also God. You know, and Jesus was Jewish. When we say Christ is king, it's not something that they just can't participate in. It is something that they hate.
I, as a Jew, have not only no problem with people saying, for example, Christ is king. I think that that's a good thing for Christians to say. I want Christians to do that because I think that for American society, more people need to declare who are Christian that Christ is king and go back to church because after all, Jesus was a Jew and not only was a Jew, was a practicing Jew.
You hear that, Groypers? No problem with you saying Christ is king because it means Moshiach is king according to the prophecies. He's king, the Messiah, son of David, the king of Judah. That's why he has no problem with it.
Does Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager promote Christianity for Gentiles? Do they?
Not really, no.
Yes, they do.
Not
yes,
really.
They do.
No,
oh, my gosh. Yeah, right.
Really.
That's what I'd love to see is a more Christian America in which more people choose God. That's going to require more leadership like yours. It's going to require more powerful Christian leadership.
I want to see a more Christian America because Christians are the biggest supporters of Israel.
The Jews' best friends are Christians. That's a fact.
The biggest supporters of Israel and the Jews are Christians. They support us because it says in Genesis that I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. They think God will bless them for blessing the Jews. Not a bad reason, by the way, in my opinion, and I agree with them. I think God does bless those who bless the Jews and curse those who curse the Jews. I believe the Jews are the chosen people. The largest group of people who believes Jews are the chosen people are Christians. Most Jews don't believe it, but Christians who are serious Christians do believe it.
And the Christians are just like, la, 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 la. Nothing they hate more. Christ is king. Nothing they hate more. Rabbi Yeshua is king. Every knee will bow to the Jewish Messiah. Like, so sick of these guys. So sick of these guys. Oh my God, why are my sound bites not working?
Crazy pills! Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Emotional video from Misfit Patriot, the Christian Zionist.
More in hell. Because guess what? Okay, I've made several videos like this over the past year and a half, so let's do another one. If you're anti-Zionist, you can go fuck yourself. Yeah, that's right. If you say, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm not anti-Jew, I'm anti-Zionist, eat every dick until the end of time and then eat some more in hell.
In hell, okay. How about, I'm anti-Judaism. Got a problem? The Christians, I'm anti-Torah. Got a problem, Christians? I'm anti-Yahweh. I'm anti-Moshiach. Got a problem, Christians?
Because guess what? I'm a Zionist. I believe that the Jews have a right to live in peace in their ancestral homeland. And that's what Zionism is. So when you say I'm anti-Zionist, you say I'm anti-misfit. And if you're anti-misfit, get fucked. Yeah, I'm an American patriot and Christian Zionist and...
Hey, get fucked. I don't care what if you say that I'm fucked, okay?
Forget about it. Yes, you can be both. Because I read the Bible and I love my country.
I read the Bible.
Hey, I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat this one bit. If we are friends, if we have mutuals, if we voted the same way, if you consider yourself on the same side, if you're MAGA, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter to me. You're a huge piece of shit and you can get fucked. You see, I'm not down with espousing the ideals of Adolf Hitler. I'm sorry, I'm not. And if you don't think that that's what you're doing, you're fucking retarded.
So being critical of Jews at all means you're espousing the ideas of Hitler? So you can't drink water if the Nazis drank water? People all throughout history from the beginning of time been criticizing Jews, but Hitler did it, so nobody's allowed to ever again. I love that argument.
Yes, you are. 95% of fucking Jews are Zionists. If you hate 95...
And by the way, this is 10,000 likes. 10,000 likes on this.
Percent of anything, you hate that thing. There are 16 million fucking Jews out there, and let's say 800,000 of them agree with you. You might as well be saying, I'm not racist, I got a black friend. You're a fucking moron. Do you realize that the people that you are aligning with, you make excuses for the innocent Palestinians and the evil Zionists that are creating a fucking genocide, even though you guys don't ever fucking talk about another fucking genocide ever! You care more about the USS Liberty, a friendly fire incident in the fucking, 60-something fucking years ago? No, that's more important than the fucking Christians being slaughtered in the Congo by radical Islamic terrorists. Over 67,000 terrorist attacks under the...
Christians realize Islam targets Christians sometimes and is a threat to Christianity. It's competing Jewish religion with Christianity. Is anybody claiming that the Muslims in the Congo are our greatest allies? No, it's not even anything remotely similar.
The fucking name of Islam in the past 50 years, and you guys think that the 0.2% of the fucking population is the problem. Again, you're fucking retarded.
Again, the argument that 0.2% of the population, it's still many millions, tens of millions of them, right? How many Jews in the world? Like 16 million or something like that? I think that's the latest figure from what I remember. It's a lot of people. 16 million, half of that believe in the Torah, maybe we'll say. 8 million Torah believers, Judaism followers. But no, it can't be a problem because it's only 2%. 0.2%.
And if you hate me because I'm a Zionist, I'll hate you right back, motherfucker. This is the fucking hill I will die on.
Do you think anybody cares if you hate them?
Hate you right back, motherfucker. This is the fucking hill I will die on.
Oh,
I
no.
will fight for them, and I will fight you for them, because nobody else will. They don't have anybody else. They got me, motherfucker, and I'm...
They are screwed. Dude, that's so funny. They got me. They don't have anybody else but Misfit Patriot. This is like some Sun Tzu shit, like appear weak when you are strong. All they got, their only ally, this guy right here, professional cuck. So brave. It's so brave to defend the Jews.
I'm a fucking enemy you don't want.
10,000 likes. And they're doing all these different attacks on him. Very emotional.
Videos like this.
Where we at? Professional cuck. The cuckiest of the cucks. Your brain on Christianity. Jews have no supporters. They have no support, guys, at all. They have no power, no influence. Not all. They don't have the president. That's for sure. They don't have Trump and AIPAC and all the lobbies and nukes and Mossad. They got Misfit Patriots. So watch out. All right, we got some more. Apparently, I don't know how See Through It All has so much time to watch all these clips, but I think he's infatuated with Robin Walsh now. Do you have a crush, See Through It All? Is that why you're posting so many clips of her now? Robin Walsh, she's a biblical scholar. Got some new clips from her here about Paul and Paul's Jewish agenda.
What did Paul's vision reflect about the culture at the time?
So he describes himself, or at least his understanding of what's happening to him, which is very interesting in and of itself, that before his birth, he was chosen by the God of Israel, by this God of the Jewish people, to be a prophet, as all other prophets. And as a Pharisee, his job was to be very well versed in the Hebrew Bible. And so Paul's very well versed in this. And because he knows the Hebrew Bible so well, that's his context. He sees himself as, the Jewish Messiah has been predicted. He's now here. I'm now his spokesperson. So I am a prophet. And so God picked me well before my birth that this was going to be my role. And now here I am, and I'm going to perform this role. And the other thing that he does is, rather than think, you mentioned, Christianity seems to have had kind of almost this explosive presence on the scene.
Virality.
Yeah, I think it's slower than that. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But the thing that Paul does, which is why, despite all of his downsides, right, like he didn't know Jesus, he doesn't seem to get along with anybody who actually knew the guy, etc.
he doesn't indicate that anybody did know the guy. Paul never places Jesus on earth in a clear way. He doesn't say, oh, I talked to Paul and Paul said he was here with Jesus, or Peter, and he said he was here with Jesus.
He interprets the Hebrew Bible in such a way, and we talked about this a little bit before, but that everybody was once, the God of Israel's child, but some people fell away. And his understanding, some of those people have to
Yeah, this dude is definitely a guru. She's on the Guru channel.
come back into the fold for this new era to happen that we're waiting for this new kingdom.
Oh, he's doing the hands now.
For what, we would call like the second coming, right? Or to use some kind of contemporary language. And so the reason it hasn't happened yet is that it can't just be a Jewish movement. We have to bring some of these, what are called Gentiles, non-Jews at the time, back into the fold. And that's why I'm the prophet for this. That's my job. So, Peter and James, stay in Jerusalem, Jewish movement in rebellion against the Roman occupying authority. Do what you were going to do in Jerusalem. We actually don't know what happens to them. They just kind of disappear. There's all kinds of church traditions. We don't know what happens to any of these guys, really. We don't even know what happens to Paul. But you stay there. And they sort of agreed to disagree. Like they just said to Paul, okay, you go talk to some Gentiles, right? Like you go do what you think you need to do. We're going to do what we're going to do. Just like get out of here. That's more or less like kind of how there's a little bit of a division there. And so that's how Paul sees himself, that his job is now to talk to all these non-Jews and figure out how many of them do I graft into this movement, is the language he uses this agricultural language. How many of them do I baptize to give them the pneuma, to bring them into this movement, to create this change in them so that they basically become part of this Jewish movement. But the thing that
these Gentiles become a part of the Jewish movement.
This movement to create this change in them so that they basically become part of this Jewish movement. But the thing that he says is there's the Jewish law for the Jewish people, which include things like dietary laws and circumcision. For Gentiles who come into the fold, you don't have to do that because that's the covenant that God made with his people on this track through Abraham, right? Through Moses, right? He had different covenants through these other figures. Jesus is a new figure who is there to bring in these Gentiles. So it's the covenant of his death, resurrection, baptism, Eucharist, these new acts, these new practices that establish this new covenant between that same God, but this other group of people. Are they being brought into Judaism? Well, it's a different kind of Judaism if it is, because it's a different covenant, right? But it's still a covenant with the same God. It's the same God of the Jewish people.
You're still getting into you grafted into your Jewish God, goy. And it's funny, like the rabbis will say it, the secular scholars will say it, the Christians will say it, the Protestants and the J-Dyer Orthodox, the Nazis will say it, everybody will say it. But then if I show you them all saying it, you say, you believe the rabbis? Jenna says I could graft her in. I'm loving all of the perverted jokes. I'm loving all the simps. A whole lot of Robin Faith Walsh simps in the chat.
Paul's vision reflect about the culture at the time.
So he describes himself.
All right, here's another one. Come back to reality, Christians. Christianity is Judaism for Gentiles. End of story.
Paul are all Jews. It always bears repeat.
Whoa, this drawing they have of her. Why is she so swole with the shoulders and the boobs out like that and the pearl necklace? I wonder what she thinks of this depiction. Dude, she got a little waist? Like that?
Repeating. Jesus, his immediate followers, the disciples, Paul are all, it always bears repeating. Jesus, his immediate followers, the disciples, Paul are all Jewish. So if you're working within that structure, then, Jesus has no need to found a movement that is going to be in competition with Judaism. He's within Judaism. Paul understands what he's doing as a form of Judaism that has outreach to Gentiles. But
you hear that? Judaism is Jewish outreach to the Gentiles.
That's also informed by his reading of the Hebrew Bible, because he believes that Gentiles are also basically Jewish people, children of God who have fallen away. And so he's trying to institutionalize a new view of this. And so for all of those reasons, that's why we see Paul as the person who institutionalizes the movement, less Jesus, who was there as the centerpiece or the symbol of the movement. Paul's mission, if we want to use that term, seems to have been to graft Gentiles into this movement that is otherwise, again, a Jewish movement, centered geographically in a very discrete place. And so I think back to this idea of Paul as founder as well. Is Paul the founder of Christianity? Is Jesus the founder? Neither of them, I think, are envisioning a religion separate from Judaism to tie it all back together. And so maybe Paul did bring in a new perspective to this idea that we've been talking about a little bit of, is this exclusively a Jewish movement, or do we bring Gentiles into this movement? Are Gentiles converting to Judaism? Is this movement about Judaism? And that, I think, is part of what is definitely, Paul may be eventually included in that movement in Jerusalem, but I think the jury is still out. Now, back to Acts of the Apostles. Acts of the Apostles tries to smooth a lot of this over. And so I think we look at the way that Paul actually uses philosophy to
Christians
help him
are
make
such
his case for
liars.
his particular reading of both the Hebrew Bible and Jewish scripture, but also the significance of Christ in human events and the significance of, and in fact, here's another thing in Greek, it is not faith in Jesus, but Jesus's faith that has created this new covenant to bring in the Gentiles to this movement and to usher in this new kingdom. All of that, he uses a lot of philosophical thought, including ethical thought. So yeah, I tend to think that Paul tells us where he got it from. He got it from the risen Lord. He describes it, that you find it a generation later in a story being written about Jesus in the gospel writers who likely had access to the letters of Paul. That makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, the gospel writers, starting with Mark, expanded on Paul. That's what happened. Let's see, where's the video I wanted to play here? Such animosity. Oh, the Jews hate Jesus so much. No, maybe if you just ignore everything they ever say about Jesus, you can claim that.
This is interesting. There is a passage in the Rambam, albeit this is interesting. There is a passage in the Rambam, albeit it was censored, but in the more by the Catholic Church, but in the more recent Rambams, it's been put back in, Shabtai Frankel and the like, in which the Rambam actually assigns a positive value in history to religions like Christianity and Islam. And even though it's the Shitas HaRambam that...
So you see this? Maimonides, the top sage in all of Judaism, top rabbi in all of Judaism, 800 years ago, long before the Schofield Bible, for all you copers out there, already saw Christianity as bringing value and as a positive thing from the world. He didn't love Jesus. He still thought Jesus and Christianity was idolatrous and persecuted them, but he still sees its Judaizing effect. Don't let your kids near him. It's just like a Jewish Santa Claus. This guy plays Santa Claus for Christmas, actually. That's his side job.
That Christianity, which
Jewish Santa,
Catholicism, was technically idolatry. He did not consider Christianity a totally monotheistic religion. But the Rambam says, Islam he did, but the Rambam says both Christianity and Islam have a positive function in weaning the pagan world away from paganism, which did not care about morality at all. And the Rambam says that this was God's divine plan to spread a recognition of Hashem and morality to the furthest islands of the world.
Knowledge of Hashem, spreading the knowledge of Hashem to the end of the world. And Christians will say, oh, you believe the rabbi? He's lying. You believe the rabbi? Is that not true? Did Christianity not spread the God of Israel and the concept of a prophesied Messiah to the world? No, you can't disprove it. You just claim that they're lying or that I believe them. And then you'll ignore that I do 3-hour-long podcasts showing you Nazis saying all the same thing. You say, no, your source is Jews. This isn't my source. It was the plan. They did it. They brag about it. Everybody else sees it besides the lying copers online. The pathological, deranged, unhinged lying Christians that I see lying their asses off every day. Like despicable, evil scumbags.
That everywhere in the world there would be a sense of knowing God. And therefore the Rambam said Christianity served a noble purpose, although in many distorted ways. Rav Yaakov Emden is even much stronger on this. He has some remarkable statements about Jesus, which I don't want to get into right now. And he actually saw Jesus as kind of almost like a prophet to the Gentiles, although Jesus was Jewish, but whatever. But what's interesting, therefore, is that Christianity and Islam served positive functions, but eventually they're going to drop away. right? That's how the Abarbanel understands the 2/3. So, like the Abarbanel, we're not describing some cataclysmic tragedy. We're just talking about the fact that, Judaism will emerge as the truth, and not that everybody has to become Jewish, but those who are not Jewish will follow the Noahide laws, recognizing Judaism as the priestly code for the Am HaNivchar.
Right, there's one.
Well, you're a goy, you're a Gentile.
What I love to see is now, whenever these Christians put out this goy slop disinfo garbage, our guys are all dominating the replies with all of the receipts and all of the truth and the actual and all the right arguments. And all the Christians can do is lie and say you're Jewish or share a fake quote or give it a like. That's all they can do.
And then it grew and grew. Well, you're a goy, you're a Gentile. Totally redefinition. And then it grew and grew and grew. So this was a shining. This was like a zricha, because it started as like Reformed Judaism, which you don't want to totally push away because they're still Jews. And then it goes ever more distant. And then it took 300 years for it to be really a force to be reckoned with, because it wasn't really a force to be reckoned with during the first 3 centuries. It became a force to be reckoned with only once Rome decided that this is the religion he wants to choose as state religion. And then he came up with this new religion. And that was a kind of revelation in the sense that it had this blessing that it became something that billions follow, and that it serves the role that we spoke about last time, that Maimonides talked about, that these two religions serve purposes, divine purpose of.
They believe Christianity and Islam provides a divine purpose.
Spreading some basic concepts of monotheism to the entire world. So it's very beautiful. Now, a very interesting medieval Kabbalist, whose name was Rabbi Avraham, also Abraham of Abulafia. He said, if you look at the letters of this part of this verse, Mimino esh dat lamo, from his right hand, he gave forth his left hand religion. Now, since the two main religions referred to in this verse, before the myriad of the hosts of divine deities, the two other mountains, the Mount of Seir and the Mount of Esau, the Mount of Paran, which refer to Esau and Ishmael, or Christianity and Islam, you can say that they are the two religions that are the left-hand religion that comes from the right hand of God, and the right-hand religion that comes from the left hand of God. If you remember, we had this metaphor that Christianity is like a movie adaptation of the original novel, and it took some elements and it left out some other elements. And then Islam came along and took the elements that were left out in the previous adaptation and made a kind of a religion that's the negative of the first one. That's why Islam and Christianity are so opposite. This is why Maimonides said that Islam is pure monotheism. Maimonides said this about Islam.
Meaning Jews can pray in a mosque because they don't have any graven images of idols. This is the best one.
Now, again, don't get the wrong idea. We believe that Islam and Christianity, despite damage done to us, are still bringing humility in general, much closer to God. At least it's, okay, I'm not going to worship this, I'm going to worship that. So let's centralize and worship one pagan god, and then we could take that away. You see? So instead of having 20 of them, you have 1 or 3 or however many. So, all's well that ends well. In the end, we will all see clearly, of course. We'll fill the world, and finally there will be no need for their missionaries. This we could also see in the book of Zechariah. Now again, don't get the wrong idea. We believe.
Look at this. Another big account sharing my videos. 9,000 likes, 336,000 views. This one is mine. You can tell because it's cut so cropped so oddly. Like, look at this crop. It's because they cropped out my logo. Not this guy, but where he looks like he got this from Instagram. It's the one saying, don't Don't be flashy in front of the goyim.
You know what you got to do? You got to keep a low profile.
Keep a low profile because they hate you. 9,000 views.
Believe that
All right, hold on.
Islam and Christianity.
What is this? One Jew. What is this?
He had to give them the same form of that hostile land. It's like we go into a country as...
Wait a second. Rabbi Laitman explains that Jewish creator made it that way by infiltration. Okay, this should be good. Did an anti-Judaic make this?
What does it mean? In order to put them inside the hostile land, he had to give them the same form of that hostile land. It's like we go into a country as an undercover team. And each one of us is exactly like the people of the land.
African Jesus. Kanye just tweeted, Christ was black. Christ was king. How do you guys like your Jesus? The black Hebrew Israelites and the Kanye say Jesus was black. The Muslims say Jesus was a Palestinian. They say Jesus was Muslim. The Christian identity and the Christians say Jesus was white. He was Aryan. How do you guys like your Jesus?
I like to picture Jesus in a tuxedo T-shirt because it says, like, I want to be formal, but I'm here to party, too. Because I like to party, so I like my Jesus to party.
Pick your Jesus. Build your Jesus. Remember, I covered this on Christmas, the video, when I was at one of the big cathedrals in Europe. They had it was around Christmas, and they had all the nativity scenes sent in from around the world. And they had the Asian Jesus nativity and the black one, and all the different countries had their own version of Jesus to mold to their culture. All the Goyim worshiping the Jewish Messiah, which was the Jewish plan.
Say we're being now sent somewhere, Africa, for instance. So we'll take on the same shape and form of the people in Africa. The characteristics, traits, approach, interests, everything.
Don't forget, no more news, Jesus.
Inside and out. As we are there, it's like an undercover. It's like an undercover agent.
Undercover agent. Oh, I like that. Here is, however, the only real Jesus according to his own pseudo-history. His name was Yeshua, or Rabbi Yeshua Bar Yosef, son of Joseph. Here's no more news, Jesus. Here's the two shirts I had the other day. For all you Christian nationalists out there, all you Christians in the chat, pick up your Rabbi Yeshua HaMashiach shirt and your Christ is King, Moshiach is King of the Jews shirts. Support the channel, nomorenews.org, to get your Rabbi Yeshua shirts. They're a joke. Making fun of Lucas Gage for grifting shirts. Grifting Christian shirts. Rabbi nationalism, yeah. Wow. Thanks for watching. I still don't know who made this, though. I wonder where you got that, conspiracy truther. Okay, we're not going to do the whole 15-minute. We're going to skip the cleansing of the temple never happened thread for another day. We're going to skip this will be for tomorrow, anti-Judaics. AI made oh, I love it. Oh, there's the meme. Dude, this is nice. Anti-Judaic is killing it. He made he's doing all these like really big graphics and stuff. I'm going to have to cover that on the next stream, as well as this AI created video he made about the different Jesuses in the Talmud and how they didn't really know a Jesus. They're polemics against Christian claims. We'll cover that. We'll cover what Gnostic Informant said. Oh, yeah. You guys see this? 171,000 likes for Keith Woods. Jesus Christ. That's what, oh my God, I need that. Hold on. New soundboard Oh, dude, the Christians are gonna hate that. Where is it? Watch this. I'm doing gay South Park. Doesn't the guy in South Park, the gay guy, goes, Jesus Christ? Is this it?
We are the grand people.
Jesus Christ! There it is. There it is. Hold on. Let's watch that one. This needs to, just the Jesus Christ needs to be added to the soundboard.
We are the grand people.
Jesus Christ! Has a little background music on it, though. I'll have to find a different one of those. Butters goes to anti-gay Christian camp.
The truth is that with the power of Jesus Christ, you can be normal. Now, just to make sure you don't slip up while in camp, we assign every camper an accountability buddy. Let's meet Ryan.
Yeah, I thought it was Big Gay Al, but no, it's some other, it's Bohemian Rhapsody gay guy. Mr. Slave, is that his name? Need to clip it. Jesus Christ.
An accountability buddy. Let's meet Ryan, your accountability buddy. Ryan thought he could never change, but now he's learning that with the power of Christ and prayer, he can have a whole new life.
Whoa.
Over this way, we have the cafeteria. All the meals.
Whoa. I didn't know that was coming. Wow. I got to clip that. Start editing South Park in with rabbis. It will be hilarious. Mr. Slave. So I need to search Mr. Slave, Jesus Christ. Dude, that's funny. Mr. Slave, Jesus Christ meme.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, on the Segway.
This is the president.
Hey, what's up?
Well. Crawling out of the woodwork to try and get me back now that I'm a big cheese.
No, I'm calling because people want you to bomb Denmark.
Who wants me to bomb Denmark?
Lots of people, because it's like going to ruin their freedom of speech or something.
Mr. Slave, this is all very complicated diplomatic stuff, okay? You can't just go bombing other countries.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're such a little bitch.
I'm a bitch, huh? I happen to be president, bitch.
You're a little bitch, president. You're too scared to bomb anybody.
I'm not scared. My advisors have told me that
You're scared. Just do what your little advisors tell you to do.
If I decide a military strike on Denmark is warranted, then I will...
You don't have the balls to bomb them, pussy.
Okay. You think so, huh? Well, watch this, you asshole.
That's all it'll take to get the Jews. The Jews will be like, you're too scared to bomb Iran. You talked a big game against Gaza, but you're just too scared. Mr. Slave?
Now, if only the flashlight was turned on, maybe we could see if that worked.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Makes me laugh every time. Ooh.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
There's the one.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, I will be downloading those and adding to the soundboard, cleaning up the soundboard. Oops. Where are we at? So I think that's all we have for... Oh, yeah, wait. Netflix portrays a 13-year-old knife murderer in the UK. The actual murderer seen here, how does the Netflix show him? As a white guy. Really? You're covering up. Usually on Netflix, it's the white characters they're making black. But if it's a black character and you say it's based on a true story, you make them white to make the whites look like. They do this every time. Every single time. Every single time, Berg. All right. That is what we got for today. Appreciate you guys all for the support. Great show. I'm so excited for the new Jesus Christ soundboard. We could do this one too.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
That's a good Jesus soundbite.
What an idiot.
I think I have more.
What an idiot. Oh, what a loser.
Help me, Jesus!
my Jewish God!
Okay. Yeah, that will go well. That will go well with the rest of them. Yeah, it's over. Sorry, you missed it. You're going to have to check the replay. Let's see. Alcamitron with the big hundo dono on Rumble. God, somebody donated on Rumble today. Oh, there's another one. Zionist cuck. Ever seen a non-obese Halsey English? This Jew here talking for Christians. I missed that one. Big shout out to Nagomatis. Return to Myth. Bolu. Return to Myth. Again. Drum and Bass World. See through it all. Drum and Bass World says, are you a fan of Non-Stamp Collector on YouTube? Never heard of him. They have such a funny video mocking Christianity and are well-researched. Good comic relief to take a break from the doom. Non-Stamp Collector. Never heard of him. I will look that up right now. Sounds funny. Always looking for content to show on the show with you guys, to watch with you guys. Return to Myth. Shout out Return Myth, Optics Prime. Garrett Masterpiece McCluskey says, did you see Handsome Truth is anti-Christian now? Yes, I do see that. And I see how all of his followers are turning against him too. And this is why internet influencers are hesitant to speak out about what they actually think about Jesus. They're scared to say Adam's right. They're scared to say, I feel like Adam Green sometimes. They're scared of having the mob of Christians come at them and stop supporting them. They're scared of losing a big chunk of their income of Christians that are in their audience. But hopefully more and more will continue to speak out and there'll be less taboo about it. Bolu, thank you. Jesus never existed. Pure Blood, Froggy McGee, Garrett, Nagomatis, Zornder, Drum and Bass, thank you everybody for the support. Great show. I will be back tomorrow with another one covering what we didn't cover today. Everybody have a nice night, and I will see you again very soon tomorrow.